is the distribution of the information sheets. Now, Reverend Spears has came and talked with me, and we got some general information, but there's another sheet that's been created. This sheet needs to go to the people that were affected. So if you have not filled, everyone, if you got a husband and a wife and children, everyone needs to fill out this form. So if you're here, we didn't give you a form, would you raise your hand so we can make sure you get it? 1, 2. Any other person that was affected and did not get information sheet, you need to fill this out and print as carefully as you can so we can make sure that we don't make mistakes. She'll be right back with you. Additional copies for you, and we'll get it to you. Yes, ma'am.
Pencils or pens. Yes,
ma'am. Lovey, would you bring some pencils or pens with you? We have some back. We'll make sure that you get that. Let me tell you a little bit of reason why we're waiting for the secretary to come back, because I want to make sure she gets it in the record. One of the things that's going to happen is when we get a sheet on every individual, we know who you are, where you are, and how to get in contact with you specifically. If I need to talk to, let's say, Mr. Horton, and not his wife, I know how to get him so he can give me the information that I need concerning him, and then if I need his wife, I know how to get to them. Also, by getting a sheet on every individual, it lets others whom we will go to for greater assistance know how many people we're really dealing with. Somebody asked me the other day, is it 2, 3, 5, 10? And I don't know everybody. I don't know everybody in everybody's house. But I do know I have the information for you shortly.
That's right.
So we're going to have a form. Reverend Spears will have a copy of the forms. So the things that he needs to talk about to the other powers that be, they will have it. The disaster relief, the rest of the committee that we're going to formulate today will have a copy of that, so we'll know specifically what we're trying to do on the behalf of particular individuals.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Who's going to determine this committee?
We're going to get them tonight. We've got some. The other day they gave me some names, and we're going to tonight let you give us the rest of the names, and then that committee will get together. We have some information for them, and then they'll get together. So we can have as many folk on the committee as need be. I'm suggesting that we don't need the world to get this problem solved.
Reverend, can I ask just one question
Sure
and be done with it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is a disaster relief agency.
Yes.
Okay, it's just now formed, right?
Yes, sir.
And it wasn't a penny in that until the senator put $5,000 in there.
No, there was some money already delegated.
Okay, but that's where that $5,000 went to.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's my understanding that the senator left that money for the flood victims.
Yes, sir.
And the flood victims are all in here. It ain't but 6 people up in here that was affected by that flood. And it's 6 people up in here, and it's $5,000. And if you gave each of those 6 people, or if you gave them $833 a piece today, you would have two pennies left over. And nobody would mind if you took those 2 pennies and put them in your disaster relief fund. But that $5,000, it should go to those 6 people that was affected by this flood. Do you agree?
No, sir.
No? Okay. Tell me why.
The reason being is that it's a disaster relief. Number one, wait, let me finish. You asked me a question, let me answer. Number one, some of these families have greater needs than other families. And what we're going to do, the committee is going to decide how much who gets, so that we can make sure that we distribute funds fairly. Now, the fact that you want me to divide it up equally,
he didn't give it to your organization. He gave it to the flood victims.
I have to a little bit agree with him there. That
and they're all 6 of them are in here.
There's 6 families involved
here.
here.
Money in your disaster relief fund. I don't think they should have to.
Wait.
If you take these people's money, it's wrong. That's the bottom line.
Okay, let me say to you again. And I'm gonna say it, and I'm not gonna say it again. This money is not my money. It's not my fund. We created the fund to help these people that have been affected.
But the senator gave it to these 6 people. Bottom line.
No,
I don't care how you fix it. He gave it to these 6 people that lost everything they had in that flood. Everything they had, they lost it. And the senator came down here and stood in that man's yard down there, and he said, "This money, $5,000, is for you. And if you do anything else with it, it's just wrong. It's just wrong."
Okay. Now, are you finished?
Yes.
Now, I don't want to have to answer you again. listen carefully. The 6 people that were affected, we're going to have more than the $5,000 that the senator gave. We are working to take every dime that's necessary, that's given. If we have to drain that account on those 6 people, so mote it be. But we're going to do it in such a way to where every family is treated fairly. Now, please don't anybody assume that we're going to hold back or take anything from this fund for anything other than this disaster that's going on right now.
It ain't no fair. They're splitting it but by 6 people. It ain't but 6 people.
The problem, wait now. Wait now. The problem becomes, and I'm going to be honest with you, if I just take that money and split it between 6 people, $833 as you said, and I give them that cash money.
Ask them. They're all here.
Wait now. It's not their decision to make now.
Oh, it's not their, it was their belonging. They lost, but their belonging.
Listen, you need to stop this.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
You really do need to stop.
I'm sorry.
Because it doesn't make sense. We're not here to do that. We're going to take care of these people. We're going to take care of them with more than that money. So don't do that. Stop it right now.
I would like to point out, though, that a lot of people are stepping in, but it's 6 families that have been... Now, let me finish. Let me finish now. Everybody wants to step in, and everybody wants to have a little control and be ahead of this and ahead of that, and I'm a spokesman for this and that. I think the 6 families need to decide all of this, and everybody else needs to stay out of that part of it. We need to decide who's going to take control of this money and not have somebody that's outside of it. I'm sorry, but a lot of you were not victims. All right? Us victims need to be able to have the say in it, not anybody else. And the spokesman should be somebody who was a victim, not somebody out from the outside. And that's all I've got to say on that.
Okay.
But I think that everyone should agree with that.
If you said that, again, I'm going to tell you again, those 6 families are going to be a part of the committee. Those 6 families will have a voice, and they're going to tell what they need, and we're going to take, if we have to take every dime and more, we're going to take it to try and restore them. But again, as a reasonable and responsible individual, we're going to make sure that we use it for the best possible purpose. And I'm not going to just give you $833 and say, this is your money, go do what you want. It was given for us to help ourselves and our community members in the time of need, and that's what we're going to make sure it's done. And we're going to formulate a committee to help do that, and anybody that does not like it needs to get up and go now. Because we're not gonna do.
Well, I kind of disagree with that because we're the ones that are involved. I mean, I appreciate so much what you've done. You are a wonderful man. I can see that. But to say that some of us should leave if we don't like it, we're the ones affected. We shouldn't have to leave.
Listen, stop talking for a second.
No, don't. Please don't dismiss me. I'm trying to say something, and I have just as much right as anybody in this room. I am just trying to point out the fact that all these people that are here that were not part of it, were not up to here in water.
Listen, they're not going to get this money.
Exactly. I know they're not going to get that money, but we should have the voice.
You do have a voice. And again...
Well, I don't, because you keep asking everybody to be quiet.
Why don't we hear the rest of it, and then maybe...
Well, there again, we've got more people... And I think that the six families should get together. We should take control of it, and then decide from there.
Can I say something? It's not 6 people.
Well, the 6 families.
It's 7 families.
Okay, 7 families.
To be honest with you.
All right, that's fine. 7 families.
And
I'm just.
15 people that are affected.
I've just seen this before back in Colorado because there was a lot of disasters, a lot of tornadoes, and a lot of people stepped in that were not involved, and a lot of funds. It took forever to get the funds out. And there's people that are needing food and other goods.
To this meeting, and we have a lot more to go.
Yes, we do.
And if you give me a chance, we'll get it done, and we'll be able to get it done in minutes. So us standing here trying to argue over purpose is not...
Well, I'm not trying to argue. I'm just stating a thing that we should discuss this.
All right. Well, we're going to... I appreciate that you voiced your opinion. We're going to move on.
And see, that's a problem I have. I have a problem right there. Is why don't the 7 of us who were affected by our 7 families have the meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
This This is Miss Vicky Farrell. Vicky has been talking to me regarding the food bank, and we'll probably coordinate with the Red Cross and Salvation Army in that regard.
And now I'm wondering what can I do to help the families who are affected?
Well, right now, if we get a chance to move on a little bit further, we're going to give out that information.
Right.
And so we'll be able to decide, make some decisions tonight of how we can help these families and make sure that we do it in the right way so that everybody has a voice and everybody is taken care of properly. Okay? Now, again, one of the things that we have to do, and no disrespect to the families that are affected in this disaster, please understand, no disrespect to you. What we have to do is we have to make sure that we're fair to every family that was affected right now. Can we all agree to that?
Yes.
We have to make sure that your comfort and well-being is being taken care of right now. I've got an information form that I gave to you, asked you to fill out. If you fill that out, give it back to us so we'll be able to know what is going on with it. If you need additional housing. See, some people, let me give you an example. Some people have already been offered residence to where they can stay, and that cuts out us having to spend money on a hotel. Where we've got one person that's going to have to stay in the hotel until we can find a place for that person to go. So it wouldn't be fair for me just to give equal portions of money to folks, knowing that at the end of that one person may be still in dire straits. That's why we have a committee. And one of the reasons why you should always have folks that are not affected, because I don't have a dog to hunt. I don't have an axe to grind. I'm a neutral individual who's not going to holler about you gave this to that. I'm going to simply say what's fair. And I'm going to use voices to make sure what's fair and not disrespectful and not distasteful. Because we have a lot of people that are affected in this issue. I was given some names the other day while we were down at the site of the incident of folks that they would like to have serve on that committee. Let me make sure I got those names so I can call those names out. And if there are others besides the family members that need to be on the committee, would you please suggest them to us? But again, we don't need the world to make sure that we're being fair. I have Bernard Johnson. Am I pronouncing that right? That's correct. Okay. I have David Horton. That's correct. I have Mr. James Stevens. He's not here right now. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. Okay. But he was just suggested. Okay. I have Miss Sandra Porton. Or wait a minute. Is that you? Okay. Sandra Patton. And then I have Miss Tracy Ridgway. Have I got that right? Okay. I have Miss Alexia Ellison. Do I have that right? Yes. Okay. I have Pastor Willie Irvin. Now, did I miss any name? And Reverend Steve.
Oh, no, I'm all right.
Well, we're working in tandem. We're working. And myself. And Ali Mead. Are we missing anybody now? Yes, ma'am.
My name's Renee Shelton.
Shelton.
Remember?
Yes, Renee Shelton.
I'll be happy to. I think she'll do it.
Okay. All right, we got Miss Renee Shelton. Are there any other names that we need to put on that committee?
I would like to propose that there's one person from every household affected to be on the committee, so that every household can have a voice.
I think we got everybody but you. Now, do you want to be on the committee?
I'd like to very much, yes.
Put his name down. That's your name?
Garrett Patro.
Garrett Patro, okay. I think everybody else, is there anybody else in my family that I did not call?
We got Ken.
Ken Stewart, okay. Mr. Ken Stewart. I had your name on here, I got so much stuff written on that card. Forgive me. Anybody else? Okay, now having said that, because in talking, I did get to talk with family members. You had to go to work, so we didn't get to talk as extensively with you. But I did get to talk with family members, and I did compile a list of what they told me that they thought that the money should be used for. I brought it in writing, and I'm going to ask that those people that were just named on that committee, if you would raise your hand, I'm going to give you this list.
What did you say? This is the list that they.
This was the stuff that they said to spend the money on.
Did you name Cleveland Johnson family? Yes.
Right.
Okay.
She needs to make a couple more
Okay.
copies. 4 more copies. While she's making those copies,
With no disrespect to my mother, I will be representing me and her.
okay,
And I just want to be known that still have
okay,
actually agree with.
all right. Now, anybody else that we need to put on that committee? Yes, ma'am.
Where is the information sheet because we need to fill out?
Right.
I need 3 for my household.
Yes, ma'am.
And you want our 9-year-old to have a sheet?
Yes, ma'am. Separate sheet, because we need to do some school supplies or something like that. We need to know it so we can make sure that they get that information.
I need one more, sir.
I gave you.
Yeah, I need. Yeah.
Anybody else have their hand? All right. All right. In just a moment, I'm going to start passing the sheet around. Everybody that's in attendance here today, we need to make sure that we know. Now, let me explain to you why. Because when things like this happen, and folks go to asking questions and saying that they have needs, we want to make sure that the community is being made aware. So when you come to these meetings, we need to be able to say to the powers that be, these were the folk that were at the meeting. Since if you don't think that we care, that we understand, here are the folks that came. We're going to do everything in writing so that when they ask that question, we'll be able to say, we had this many people at the meeting. Don't tell us that they didn't care. Amen? Amen. Give it right to you. Okay? All right. Now, the next thing on the agenda on my agenda was to have a very brief update on the status of the family. Let me tell you what has been done so far. Then I'm going to ask that Reverend Spears would come and give us some further information. The first thing that we did is we made sure the day that the incident happened, we got people out of that water. We got them food, which was provided here at the church. Everybody that wanted to eat was able to come here and get food to eat until it ran out. And at the end, when it ran out, nobody else came, so I didn't go buy anything. We have made sure that where the Red Cross left off with hotel accommodations, we have made arrangements to make sure that you can stay in the hotel until Saturday, this coming Saturday. We immediately went and talked to some folk in the community who said that they had houses or space available that may be used by individuals if they need a place to live. We have talked to a couple of food bank places, CASA, what do you want the food? Salvation Army, right? And we spoke with them, but what we found out was if you give them a bunch of food and stuff, they don't have places to store clothes and packages of food and whatnot. So we asked that they hold up on that so we can make sure that we get them into some logistical temporary housing where they can store things of their necessity. We have contacted, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I went personally and I talked to his family. I talked to you Saturday or Friday, is that right? Okay. I talked to Mr. Horton. I talked with Mr. Stewart, right? He's still at the business. Aren't you one with the business family? And you have 2 houses down there, right? I've talked with the Ellisons. I've talked with Miss Cotton. I've talked with Alex. I've talked with you until you had to go to work. Okay. Was there any other families that we needed to talk with? Okay. Now we have made arrangements. If there should be a need for somebody that needs something to eat, we gave you that list that talked about how we can use some of the funds that are in the account. On that list, you will see there how we can be fair to everybody and make sure that people have money to eat with on a daily basis. We've talked to some agencies about some temporary housing. Mr. Reverend Spears will tell you about that in just a second. We've also talked to some individuals who have some homes that say that they could possibly be rented if they needed to be rented. Storage place, Reverend Spears will talk about that because they have some free storage places the city is providing, and they came down Saturday and they've already provided us with the dumpsters and cleanup materials, and of course we heard from the delegation, which did give money to make sure that folks were made comfortable, and we need to use it wisely. Having said that, I'm going to ask that Reverend Spears would come.
One quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
The homes that have been made available to them for rent or not, are they long-term or are they just temporary?
I'm going to let Reverend Spears talk to that issue.
That.
We've got a couple of them.
So let me just say that most of what we're talking about right now is short-term. As Pastor said, we're trying to meet the immediate needs and comfort of everybody. What I'm noticing is that there can be duplication of services, and in order to get the most bang for your buck, that's why you want to try to make sure that it's managed wisely and correctly, because once it's gone, folks, it's gone. We can have singers and fish fries and that kind of stuff, but when that money is gone, it is gone. I have, and I need to update this because what I've done on last evening when I talked with most of you over at Days Inn yesterday, I was getting information from you. I have synthesized it down to and you may have to make some copies of that. And Garrett, what I was talking to you about, or what we mentioned, let me just call these out right quick. In terms of households, I have 7 households. If this is not correct, please let me know. I have John and Alexia and Joe Ellison, 3 people in that household. I have John Ellison and Amber Newman. I have 2 people in that household, but I see somebody else back there. Is he in your household? Consider in your household? That young man right there? Oh, okay, all right. So we're at 2. I have Minnie Cotton as being 1. I have David, Stella, and Myron Horton as being 3. I have 5. Monquetta and Blaze, is it Blaze? Cleveland, as being 3. I didn't know the name, and I missed his name on here, but I've got it somewhere, so I'll go back and correct it. I have Ken and Deborah as being 2. I have Garrett as being 1. And I have a total 15 people with 7 households. I didn't include your pets, Garrett, but I got it listed. In terms of comments and concerns, there was some concerns about asbestos. Ronnie Dahlberry, who works for the city, his mother-in-law had a heart attack last night. He was supposed to go up to Rosalie, take pictures and video, and bring me the report back of the condition of the FEMA homes, the FEMA trailers, because some of you expressed a concern about the quality of it. And I want to assure you, we want to try to put you in places that are safe and decent, and all of this is going to be temporary. Some of you have some concerns about home options in terms of if there's some money or something that are available for your property, what could you do? I talked with Steve Johnson Realty. I have 7 properties. Some of this is in foreclosure. I think he said the lowest property went at about $36,000 and the highest was up to about 48. I see like 48. So I'm going to leave this here. If anybody's interested, I don't know what your insurance company will do or if you even want to go that route, but I'm going to leave that here. His name is Steve Johnson. I'm going to leave that here. In terms of temporary housing, I have, as it stands right now, based on what we talked about last night, John and Alexa Ellison with rental housing would be provided. I think you had already mentioned that about up on the hill. Along with that, Alex and Amber will follow in that suit also. I'm understanding that would be, you guys would be together in that regard. Ms. Cotton has a rental provided or space provided with Ms. Ruby. David and Stella, I talked with the guy at K&K, and he's going to look into that for us. Clive and Marquetta. Please. There's a Clive, he's a bass guitar guy, and that's why I keep calling him Clive, please. because he's a famous bass bassist, whatever you call him. That's why I think. But we're going to need to get some housing there with them. Ken and Deborah, they need housing also, but they have agreed to rough it in the camper, in the FEMA trailer, so that's good. In talking with Garrett on last night, he will possibly do the same thing over at another location. So we're trying to meet as many needs as we possibly can. Now, again, $833 may seem like a lot at one time, but we don't know the duration of what it's going to take to do this. So if we can just pool our monies together, I think we can get more bang for our buck. Now, again, I'll be making some more contacts. I'll be in touch with you, and we're going to get some things done. Fortunately, and thanks be to God, because I was thinking that I'm serious. I was thinking that everybody was housed in the Hampton Inn, but I later found out that everybody's pooled at today's Inn. And so, everybody's in one central location, and we can make contact there. Now, I need to talk with the people from Red Cross and Salvation Army. I need to get your card. And Ms. Vicki Farrell, you're talking about food bank, Pastor, and food bank. She wants to see if we can establish a food bank here, so we won't have to go to Huntsville or Rosalie or these other places. So she wants to get involved. And I just want to stand up, Vicki. Everybody may not saw you when you stood up, but that's Ms. Farrell. She wants to work. So.
Any questions for Reverend Stevens?
Yes, ma'am. Well, not so much to him, but I wanted to ask Alexis, can CASA, do they have food?
Yes, food.
Okay. And have y'all got stuff in the storage?
They have very little furniture and things in storage. We may have a few household items, but we have very little furniture and things in storage.
Any other questions?
In terms of storage, we're looking at two options. We're looking at the warehouse that can be provided down. It's not very secure, not climate controlled or anything like that. So we're looking at another option. I was hoping that we would have heard from them today, because I know you need to get your stuff stored. And also, if you need a small crew, I talked with Mr. Dahlberry. If those of you who weren't able to get some assistance on Saturday, we can dole out small crews to help you with what you need. So just make sure you contact me.
That's where we have to come back and help those who are not.
Say it loud, everybody.
Southern Baptist disaster relief came Saturday, and that was my first experience, and realized just how devastating this has been for y'all. And I apologize that our community has not responded better than they have. But I've made a personal responsibility to see to it that I do all I can do, and I'm going to try to get others to do the same. We will come back if you need help, if you'll just let whoever's going to be in charge, the director or whatever they so choose to give them that title. We'll be happy to come back and do what we can. We are going to try to talk to some other agencies other than what we do. We do a lot of clean out and mud out, and if you have furniture and